Education means the enhancement of knowledge. Education means the enhancement of capabilities. Education means the progress of society and the nation. If the basic right of every child to education is itself weak, then it becomes a matter of grave concern for the future of the people, society and the nation. Actually, ASAR had published its findings on the progress of education in rural India. Going by this report, Maharashtra lagged far behind in imparting education, thereby putting a big question mark on the shape and quality of education in the state. Following the discussion in the legislature, the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Devendra Fadnavis, decided on some key issues in setting up the future course of education by the Education Ministry. Thereafter, Shri Vinod Taude, the Honorable Minister for School and Higher Technical Education, along with the Chief Secretary Shri Nand Kumar, set about the task of elevating the standard of education to be the best in the country and making it globally competitive. In order to understand the various issues and impediments, a series of seminars and workshops were organized, which were attended by the State Education Commissioner Dr. Purushottam Bhapkar, other senior officials, concerned officers and teachers. The workshops held on the 22nd and 23rd of May 2015 at Kolhapur and Satara proved to be particularly important and groundbreaking. As a result of the contemplation and deliberations of the Honorable Shri Nand Kumar, the state got a new government resolution in the form of Pragat Shekshanik Maharashtra on the 22nd of June 2015. The Maharashtra State Education Commissioner, Dr. Purushottam Bhapkar. It was then left to Dr. Bhapkar and his colleagues to realize the goals of Pragat Shekshanik Maharashtra. The starting point, of course, was establishing communication with the teachers, for the teachers serve as the all-important link between the system and the students.
शिक्षकांना उघडपणे सांगण्यात आलं की कोणतीही कार्यवाही तुमच्यावर होणार नाही. तुम्ही प्रामाणिकपणे पुढे या. काम करायचंय, सर्व दूर करायचंय. त्यामुळे तुम्ही सांगा, तुमच्या अडचणी सांगा.
The confidence shown by the seniors motivated the officers as well as the teachers. Bolstered by self-confidence, about 15,000 officers and 750,000 teachers started a sort of movement by working in right earnest for achieving the cherished goals of the Pragat Shekshanik Maharashtra. The main objective of the movement was to transform the students who were lagging behind into progressive students. The Honorable Shri Nand Kumar suggested that the senior officers should adopt some schools to bring about this transformation.
आणि असं ठरवलं की शाळा अशा निवडायच्या की ज्या सगळ्यात अवघड आहेत, अडचणीच आहे आणि मग सर्वात जास्त ड्रॉप आउट, सर्वात जास्त मुळे शाळाबाह्य असलेली, उपस्थिती कमी आहे, खडतर भाग आहे, डोंगराळ आहे, आदिवासी आहे, नक्षल एरिया आहे, जायला लोकांना त्रास होतो.
Dr. Bhapkar drew inspiration from this idea and converted it into a workable venture. He himself took charge of such challenging districts and adopted 447 schools belonging to 5 talukas. He also directed the senior officials, directors and officers from the education department to follow suit and adopt the remaining schools which were lagging behind.
या 5 तालुक्याचे गट शिक्षणाधिकारी, त्या केंद्रातले केंद्र प्रमुख, काही मुख्याध्यापक, शिक्षणाधिकारी या सर्वांची एक पहिली बैठक 17/10/2015 रोजी पुण्याला बालभारतीच्या माझ्या कार्यालयामध्ये घेण्यात आली. सकाळी बोलवलेल्या लोकांना आम्ही संध्याकाळपर्यंत बसून खूप चर्चा केली, माहिती घेतली. शाळा किती आहेत, केंद्र किती आहेत, परिस्थिती कशी आहे तिथली, कोणत्या भूमिका आहेत आणि आम्हाला कसं पुढे जायचं.
Many of these areas remained neglected for years together due to faults in the system. Some areas suffered from difficult geographical conditions. Reaching the schools was an arduous task. At some places, the teachers had addictions, while at a few other places, we found one-student schools. Dr. Bhapkar believes in going to the roots of the problems while solving them. He interacted with the people. He visited all these places in spite of all the hardships. He understood the problems of the teachers, the parents and the villagers before coming up with corrective measures in the action plan for the concerned people in the education system. The first phase of the action plan was getting the students on board. This was done by undertaking a survey of all the children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. The teachers and officers in the villages would set out in groups, collecting information about these children. Even voluntary organizations as well as the NSS were roped in for the purpose. A software called Saral was especially developed with the help of NIC to collect accurate data and gather information. This software exposed and halted such dubious practices such as bogus registrations, bogus teachers and students, false enrollments and absenteeism. With the help of Saral, any officer can cross-check the progress of a student with a click of a mouse. The concerted efforts made by the officers and teachers succeeded in creating awareness among the parents and yielded results in the form of increased number of enrollments in the schools. The next challenge was to ensure that these students continued schooling. Many of the schools were found to be in appalling conditions, with dilapidated buildings, faded wall colors, dusty corners, unhygienic toilets and premises littered with trash, and all this vitiated the environment for the students, teachers and teaching. Dr. Bhapkar travelled extensively in all the 5 talukas to bring about a change in the state of affairs of such schools. Being a staunch advocate of cleanliness and to lead by example, he even took up a broom and began sweeping the premises of one of the schools. This inspired the teachers, parents and villagers to clean all the schools in their area themselves in a short span of time.
तुम्हाला आश्चर्य वाटेल, पुढच्या 15 दिवसांमध्ये त्या केंद्रातल्या जवळपास 70% शाळा चकाचक, स्वच्छ, रंगवलेल्या, घाण साफ, टॉयलेट बाथरूम स्वच्छ, पाण्याची चांगली व्यवस्था, कलर दिलेल्या, सगळं झालं होतं. कसं झालं हे? शिक्षकांनी पुढाकार घेतला, प्रामाणिकपणा वाढला, हजेरी वाढली, मुलांना विश्वास वाढला, प्रेम वाढलं आणि शाळा बदलून चालल्या. परिवर्तन सुरू झालं आणि गावातलं एक परिवर्तनाचं मोठं साधन म्हणून या शाळांच्याकडे आता पाहिलं जातं.
The policy of Pragat Shaikshanik Maharashtra gives every student the right to quality education. And so it was decided to conduct a study tour of post Kumte in Satara district, which had the distinction of achieving 100% results in this regard.
माझ्यासहित सर्व वरिष्ठ अधिकारी, प्रधान सचिव, आम्ही सर्वांनीच वेगवेगळ्या शाळांच्या मधून भेटी झाल्या आमच्या. आणि यामधून असं लक्षात आलं, सर्वांच्या लक्षात आणून दिलं गेलं किंबहुना माननीय प्रधान सचिवांनी की ज्ञान रचनावादाच्या सहाय्याने मुलं कमी वेळेमध्ये भरपूर काही शिकू शकतात.
Self-awareness is a concept that helps learning by creating a free, attractive and pleasant environment where students joyfully and playfully gain knowledge through experiences gained from such activities, while teachers play the role of facilitators. The self-awareness method motivates the students to learn by stimulating their inquisitive and enthusiastic nature. This method adds to their qualities, capabilities and power of expression, and these in turn boost their self-confidence, self-esteem and self-image. In order to create a pleasant environment for learning, the classroom walls and floors were decorated with colorful placards, charts, informative tidbits, maps and geometrical shapes. Items that were readily available in the vicinity were used for the purpose, and at times the teachers themselves used their imagination to create them. The self-awareness method increased the involvement of students in schools. They began handling and experiencing the various things created by the teachers. Now the teachers too started developing the ambition of ensuring the progress of each and every one of their students. According to the policy of Pragat Shaikshanik Maharashtra, the first baseline test in maths and language were conducted at all schools across the state in the month of September to evaluate the improvement in the standards of education.
जे कच्चा आहे 40%च्या आत आहे त्या मुलाला पुढे कसं घेऊन जाता येईल, या प्रत्येक मुलाला पुढे घेऊन जाण्याचा कार्यक्रम कृती आराखडा तयार करण्यात आला, प्रत्येक शिक्षकाने केला.
The teachers and officers were inspired by the progress of the students as shown by the results of the test, and they rededicated themselves to gaining the top position for their center, post and taluka. The teachers even began visiting other progressive schools in the vicinity. They began demanding seminars and workshops. They also started creating innovative and interesting programs for the children. The students now began to flower and started talking confidently. The schools began to fill up. The teachers organized a workshop at Pune for learning the use of technology in imparting education from their techno-savvy colleagues. They created a group on social media for continuously sharing views, experiences and insights.
आणि पहिला व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुप झाला भामरागडचा. व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुपचं नाव देण्यात आलं हे शक्य आहे.
Now, all the 5 talukas have WhatsApp groups at the post level. Teachers share their initiatives and programs on these groups. Shri Nandkumar and Dr. Bhapkar are directly in touch with the teachers in these groups. This is an example of how technology helps in connecting the world. The Android phones have made the world of knowledge accessible to the remotest of villages. The facility of e-learning is now made available in many well-equipped schools. We acknowledge the contribution of people from all walks of life. The Pragat Shaikshanik Maharashtra mission became a mass movement. The state managed to raise about 100 crore rupees through public participation. The fund is routed back to the local schools.
मला अतिशय आनंद वाटतो की अत्यंत वेगाने हा भाग पुढे होतो.
Almost all the schools adopted in Dhadgaon Amla, Hadgaon, Sengaon, Manwad and Bhamragad employ the self-learning method. The children in these remote areas are also benefiting from mobile, digital and e-learning facilities.
कितीतरी मोठा पल्ला, प्रचंड मोठा पल्ला गाठण्यात आलेला आहे आणि यामधून सगळ्यांना आनंद मिळणार आहे, शांती मिळणार आहे. मलाही भरपूर मिळाली, मी शिक्षकांना मिळते आहे.
The Honorable Education Commissioner, Dr. Purushottam Bhapkar, took up the challenge of making quality education available even in the remote villages of the state, as envisaged by the vision of the Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Devendra Fadnavis, the directions of the Honorable Minister for School and Higher Technical Education, Shri Vinod Taude, and the leadership of the Chief Secretary, Shri Nandkumar, in less than 6 months, to make the neglected and the deprived receive quality education, that too at a great pace and with unprecedented success. Perhaps this is a one-of-its-kind success story in the world. But what is certain is that through this movement, Dr. Purushottam Bhapkar has made the insurmountable, the improbable, the unachievable and the impossible possible. For Dr. Purushottam Bhapkar, yes, it's possible.